Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best CPU for gaming.
Starting at number 5.
AMD Ryzen 9 7950X 3D. AMD's $699 Ryzen 9 7950X 3D is geared specifically for gamers looking to blast through CPU-limited games, while still having the threaded heft of 16 cores that can handle the heaviest of productivity workloads. The new chip comes packing 16 Zen 4 cores and the company's 2nd Gen 3D V-Cache tech that unlocks 128 MB of L3 cache, a combo that delivers the fastest gaming performance available on the market. In our tests, the 7950X 3D beats Intel's fastest chip, the 6 GHz Core i9-13900KS, by 13% on average and up to 40% plus in some games. The 7950X 3D uses AMD's cutting-edge 3D chip stacking technology, called 3D V-Cache, to enable an incredible 128 MB of L3 cache. Like AMD's inaugural X3D chip, the Zen 3 Ryzen 7 5800X 3D, the extra L3 cache comes courtesy of a 3D stacked SRAM chiplet fused atop the processor with hybrid bonding, which accelerates gaming to new heights in many titles. AMD also has a new thread targeting technique designed to help apply the gains more evenly across a broad range of games. However, the Ryzen 9 7950X 3D does lag its direct competition in some productivity apps due to the trade-offs associated with the 3D chip stacking tech, and it doesn't accelerate all games equally. As such, you'll need to study the pros and cons of the chip before pulling the trigger. However, one thing is certain, it's the fastest gaming chip on the planet. The Ryzen 9 7950X 3D brings all of the amenities we would expect from a modern processor, including support for DDR5, PCIe 5.0, and the latest USB connectivity standards. AMD has also added integrated graphics for a basic display out for the first time, which is a plus if you need to troubleshoot.
Coming at number 4.
Intel Core i7-13700K. At $409, the Core i7-13700K thoroughly beats the $399 Ryzen 7 7700X and even unseats the pricey $590 Ryzen 9 7950X, all while delivering essentially the same gaming performance as Intel's own $589 flagship Core i9-13900K. But for significantly less. You can also discard the intergated graphics engine and get the Core i7-13700KF for $395. As always, if you aren't after top performance in heavy productivity tasks, the Core i7 model takes the shine off the Core i9. The Core i7-13700K is a great high-performance gaming chip at its price point, offering 95% of the flagship Core i9-13900K's performance for $190 less. Better yet, you can overclock the chip and get basically identical performance to the Core i9-13900K. The 13700K is also 18.8% faster than the previous Gen 12700K and basically ties the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D, but beats it after overclocking. Our benchmarks show the Core i7-13700K is also a much better all-rounder than Ryzen if you're looking for performance in productivity work. The Core i7-13700K has 8 P cores, high performance, and 8 E cores, efficiency, for a total of 24 threads. The P cores run at a 3.4/5.4 GHz base/boost, while the E-cores weigh in at 2.5/4.2 GHz. In addition, the execution engine is fed by 30 MB of L3 cache and 24 MB of L2.
At number 3.
AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. The Ryzen 7 7800X 3D is the fastest gaming chip available and easily beats more expensive competitors from both Intel and AMD's own lineup. At an affordable $449 price point that will surely be reduced in the future, the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D is both the fastest gaming CPU on the market and a solid value in the high-performance category. The Ryzen 7 7800X 3D comes with 8 cores and 16 threads that operate at a 4.2 GHz base and 5.0 GHz boost clock rate. The chip employs AMD's second-gen 3D V-Cache tech that uses a 3D stacked SRAM chiplet to deliver an incredible 96 MB of L3 cache, and to great effect. The end result is a comparatively low-power chip that delivers incredible gaming performance. You do have to be aware of the trade-offs with this highly specialized chip. Our gaming benchmarks show that the 3D V-Cache doesn't boost performance in all games, though we found that it impacted nearly every title we tested. Additionally, the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D is optimized specifically for gaming, but it can't keep pace with similarly priced chips in productivity applications. If you're looking for a more balanced chip that does well at both gaming and applications, our tests show that the $409 Core i7-13700K is a better choice.
Number 2 of my list.
AMD Ryzen 5 7600. AMD's 6-core 12-thread $229 Ryzen 5 7600 is very similar to the X-series Ryzen 5 7600X, but it is $20 less and delivers close to the same amount of performance, trailing its X-series counterpart by 5% in gaming. The Ryzen 5 7600 contends with the $196 Core i5-13400F, a potent foe on the pricing front, but it is a worthy alternative if you plan to go with DDR5 memory. Although the Ryzen 5 7600 is 7% faster in gaming than the Core i5-13400F at stock and overclocked settings, the pricing between these two chips isn't as close as it appears. That's primarily because of Ryzen's strict requirement for pricey DDR5 memory and the generally higher pricing for AMD's B-series motherboards, both of which increase the cost of your build significantly. As such, the Ryzen 5 7600 can't compete with the value of a DDR4-powered Core i5-13400F rig. You'll pay 35% more for the Ryzen system and 25% more per frame to get the 7% increase in 1080p gaming performance. The Ryzen 5 7600 is more attractive if you already plan to shell out the extra cash for DDR5, but there's a higher pricing bar for entry. A Ryzen 5 7600 system costs $50, 10%, more than a DDR5-powered Core i5-13400F system, or 4% more per frame when we factor in performance. That's close enough to make the Ryzen 5 7600 a solid choice for a DDR5 gaming system, provided you have the extra $50 in the build budget. The competing Intel platform has only one more generation of chips that you'll be able to upgrade to, while the AMD AM5 platform will support chips until 2025 plus.
And number 1.
Intel Core i5-13400. The 10-core 16-thread $228 Raptor Lake Core i5-13400 and the graphics-less $196 Core i5-13400F build on the gaming performance of the previous gen model that has long been the go-to mid-range gaming chip, but the addition of 4 E-cores improves performance in threaded productivity workloads. The 13,400 support for DDR4 memory gives it an unmatched value proposition in the $200 price range, making it the go-to chip for mid-range gaming PCs. The chip has 6 P-cores that support hyper-threading and operate at a 2.5 GHz base and 4.6 GHz boost clock. The 4 E-cores for threaded tasks run up to 3.3 GHz. The 13,400 supports leading-edge connectivity with support for DDR4-3200 or up to DDR5-4800 memory, along with 16 lanes of PCIe 5.0 and an additional 4 lanes of PCIe 4.0 from the chip for M.2 SSDs. The 13400F's main competitor comes in the form of the $228 Ryzen 5 7600, which is 7% faster than the Core i5-13400 at stock and overclocked settings in our 1080p tests. But the pricing between these two chips isn't as close as it appears, primarily because of Ryzen's requirement for DDR5 and high pricing for AMD's B-series motherboards, both of which increase the cost of your build significantly.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.